One. Hello.
In my
Welcome.
mind, when you were giving the countdown,
Yeah.
I was then picturing Guns N' Roses' "Welcome to the Jungle" starting.
Is that how it starts?
No, it's not, but I was just like getting really pumped up when you were like
Okay.
three. You should have seen it right before Drake press go live. He was counting down three, two, one in the most epic way I've ever heard.
I literally just said three, two, one.
Sunday morning, dude. It's like Sunday morning church with Drake. Because you're now you have your home church that you started, right? I can see a new background. Can you
Um,
imagine that? Drake's church starts with "Welcome to the Jungle" by Guns N' Roses.
yeah, like that.
Yeah. But that opening
That
too, where he's screaming, he's like,
is that not how church begins?
now the church I grew up in, they started with a piano.
Ah, ah.
Way less.
Your church doesn't just start with like, "Welcome to the jungle."
Nah, I don't know. I mean, they kind of changed, right? Over the years, they had to become more contemporary because they were competing with the mega churches, where those mega churches got a full-on rock band or like a DJ.
True, true, true.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. Shit was getting out of hand with the church. Last time I went to a church years ago, there was there's a mega church and there was a DJ straight up playing like pop dubstep sounding music. And I was like, wait, I'm in church and I'm hearing these sounds. What is this? And then I was like,
I'm,
oh, it's Big Energy Fest. That's what it is. Got it.
you're like, I
Got
am
it.
confused.
I feel the Lord. You're like, wait,
Look,
is that what
look,
all
soon.
the ravers are saying?
Soon church is gonna be like this. Oh man. Let's
Metaverse.
just kick it off. Hang on. Yeah, yeah, right.
Metaverse rave with Drake and Justin Bieber on the stage.
Hang on. Oh man. Let me do
And not
this.
you, Drake. I meant Blue Pill Drake.
Oh, not me. Oh, all right.
No, no, no. We'll get
All
up to
right.
that.
All right.
Whoa.
Check this out. Check this out. Have you seen
Oh,
this?
House.
yeah, yeah,
Cosm
yeah. I
calls
saw
this.
that.
All right,
Yeah.
wait. I was gonna let the sound play, but it's kind of loud. Or is it loud for you too when I play that?
Everyone just be warned. It's gonna be loud. This is
Let
Cosm,
me
guys. This is
just
what we're talking about. This is the future.
okay, but check this out. So basically, every seat in the house feels like the best seat, right? Um, all right. Let me start it over. Let me just hit
Yeah, yeah. You
refresh.
should play with the sound. It's cool. I mean,
Is Cosm. It's a completely new way to watch live events. NFL, NBA, UFC. It's like a movie theater and a VR headset had a baby. When you see this, doesn't it feel like you're inside the stadium? But you're not. You're in comfortable chairs at a bar with food, with friends, and you've got the best view in the
dated.
house. Cosm calls this
Dude.
shared reality. It's like virtual reality, but it's designed to be enjoyed with others. Each Cosm location has
Have you ever gone to like one of those planetariums
hmm
or like
hmm
what do you or
Yep.
IMAX
hmm
maybe. That's what this is right here. This
Yep.
is
On
like
steroids.
yeah, on steroids because it's like you got all the energy of like watching the football game. You feel like you're like because okay, first of all, IMAX, I don't
Imagine
know.
the commercials. There's a commercial break.
Yeah,
Showing like
right.
fucking Pfizer.
Dude, you get the injection literally during the commercial. Like it comes through your arm. You're like, oh wow, I really felt it.
I can feel my bloodstream changing. My immune system's activating
When
or
they
getting
do
suppressed.
the drug commercials, like literally you get the drug like as the commercials coming on. Some side effects may include. You're like, yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, and it just feels like happy people running through a field, like in all those medical commercials, but like
Yeah.
full on, like you're like with them right there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
just crazy, man. I don't
isn't
know.
it?
Would you
Like,
go to
but
one, Drake? Would you go to a Cosm, Drake? If so,
uh
what would you want to see at a
okay,
Cosm?
first of all, I don't watch any games like football or
Okay,
UFC.
okay, but I'm saying they have like Hell's Kitchen with Gordon Ramsay in Cosm Planetarium,
I don't want to be in the kitchen with
and then they're
Gordon
feeding you. But
No,
then
no,
they're
no, no.
feeding you.
Gordon Ramsay, you're a fucking idiot. So worth like I'm like, no, please, Gordon.
Everyone, put in the comments what you would want to see in your first ever Cosm experience, okay? Drake, I think, wants to watch Hell's Kitchen. Planet
No,
Earth, I don't know. I'd rather just go swim, swim with dolphins in the ocean.
you would be swimming. They would flood the stadium. or the theater rather with
You're like,
water.
damn, this water is up to my neck.
You're like,
Yeah,
"Ooh."
shit's crazy, man.
Dude.
I don't know. I don't like the sound of that. I don't like the idea of being strapped into metaverse goggles. I'd have to hang out in the porch area. They
No,
said there's three
but
parts of it.
you're not wearing metaverse goggles though. That's the thing. You're not
Oh,
wearing.
I thought when you were in the experience, you were
No, no,
wearing
no,
it.
no, 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 no.
Really?
No,
Sure.
no. I'm telling you, it's just like an IMAX theater.
I
Or
thought it was IMAX with that though.
no, 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 no. He's saying it's like that on steroids shared experience is what he was saying, right? So it's
Are you
like
sure?
I'm I don't no, I'm not, but I'm sure you could look it up, right? The Cosm thing.
Cosm Dallas. Hey, Drake, we could get to Texas a day early this year.
We
Go to Cosm
could. I
Dallas.
think I might be flying into Dallas.
Oh
You
shit.
want to meet up? We could do that.
I mean, I don't know.
If they have an event on that day,
I
that'd be
want to
fun.
watch. I want to watch Cameron slaughtering his cow on the
And
Cosm.
Cosm.
You're like looking inside the cow.
Dude, that's like a Magic School Bus episode where they go inside the body. Dude, okay. Do you wear a VR headset? I don't think you do. I don't think
I'm
you do.
looking to see.
I'm
I thought there was some parts where you are wearing it.
no, because like if you think about like an IMAX theater
Okay, yeah, they're not wearing them.
or like a planetarium, right? It's like the screen comes like around, like it wraps around, and so you don't have to be wearing
Yeah,
goggles. Like when
they're not
you're
wearing
looking around, it's on different. You're looking at different parts of the screen, and you're looking at different vantage points, right, or different perspectives rather. So, I mean, it's a
That
really
is
cool
weird.
idea. I'm not gonna front. I like the idea because definitely I've been to like an IMAX theater. I've been to at the Air and Space Museum, or I don't know, I don't remember which
In
museum.
DC?
Yeah, I don't remember which museum exactly, but they have something like that where it's like it's a planetarium type of thing, or like an IMAX theater, or something like that. And the experience is really cool. Like you feel like things are flying over you,
Yeah.
like, you hear the sounds from like literally surrounding all around you. I can see how that would be a fun, immersive experience.
Yeah. They better
However,
have like age limits though, as in like no child. Like, I'm just imagining if like Aristotle was at something like that.
I don't
Like,
think they would have age limits just because,
I mean, like age minimums, I should say.
but no, but think about it. When you go to, let's say, a football game, they don't have an age minimum, and there's
Yeah,
people
dude, you
drinking
can
all
have
around, and it's a
right,
crazy
and that
experience.
loud ass sounds and music. And
So I don't think they will do that. I mean, I
you
know
ever
they
go to a
have that.
hockey game? I know you're in Florida. I don't think you guys. Oh, yeah, the Florida Panthers and
We have
Tampa Bay.
well,
Have you ever
here's
been to a hockey game though?
do I
No.
look like a hockey game?
I wasn't gonna say it. I want to be inclusive. I know there's like some black NHL players sometimes. So yeah. Well, anyway,
Name
Drake,
one, name one, name one.
oh, this is an old Jerome McGinley.
Okay, all right.
I
You,
think he's
you came
retired.
out with a name though. You came out with a
This was
name.
when I was in first grade, and the NHL was my idol.
I gotta look that up now and see if this is like
Fact check me. I
yeah,
don't know.
fact check.
Maybe he's like
Maybe you
you
just made that
know
up. I
maybe
don't
he's like
know.
Maybe he's like Kamala and he's actually Indian but says he's black. So I don't know.
No, did you see oh man. All right, so we got some fun stuff. We're gonna have a fun one
Well,
today.
hang on, Drake.
Hey,
Just so I
hey.
can educate you, in case you do end up at a NHL game
Mhm.
somehow, it's
Yeah.
loud as fuck when they score a goal because they play a literal foghorn. I mean, I don't know if it's yeah, it's like, but with way more bass. It's crazy, and I'm like, dude, they're like babies there. Like that's insane. Like that's
Why would you
insane.
bring
And
your
then they play
baby?
"Welcome to the Jungle" by Guns N' Roses, and you're like,
Why
that
would
kid's
you
just
bring
stimulated.
your baby to a what's it called?
To make
To
sure they're the fans of the right team, Drake. Come
yeah,
on.
right. Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? You're right. You're right.
Well, dude, because that's what they were impulse with as kids. I mean, I
Okay.
see it all the time. It's like people care more about fucking their sports team than they care about the fact that
Wait, they're fucking the whole team? That's insane.
no, Drake. No.
Listen, when
But
you were
when you
saying,
yeah,
his name, I was gonna fact check you like this. Like, check
say his
this
name,
out. Yeah.
all
Say
right,
his name.
real time fact
Maybe
checking.
he should
saying right after the debate.
This is the part where Donald Trump invented someone. He invented a person who doesn't exist in addition to the people he says are eating dogs. There's another person who doesn't exist. His name is Abdul.
And Abdul is the head of the Taliban. He is still the head of the Taliban. And I told Abdul, don't do it anymore. You do it anymore, you're going to have problems.
Maybe the reason that VP Harris is looking at him that way is one that she's probably thinking maybe he should go back to the old folks home and have a bowl of Jello. Or she might also thinking to herself, no. The head of the Taliban's name is not Abdul. It is Hibatullah Akhundzada. So maybe
Hold on. Let me pause it right here. Because this is really well done, actually. This is really well done. Because I can relate to what she's saying right now. You know? Because she's got like that smirk on her face. She's laughing about it. It's just like, it's kind of funny, right? Keep going.
he couldn't remember that. You know, I had to write it down to know it.
I can relate to that. I don't even remember what she just said. She literally just said it. I don't remember that name, right?
Your thoughts on his response in making up Abdul as a person that isn't real?
No one can really confirm who this Taliban person named Abdul is, who he said he'd talk to.
It's bizarre.
Did you know that he made up this name, Abdul?
I remember when he said that in the debate, but I wasn't aware if he made it up. Well, watch it actually be real.
Bit in the whole debate where he describes the leader of the Taliban as a guy called Abdul. I mean, it's you know,
This guy laughing.
completely non-existent person. He's just chosen the one Muslim name he can remember. It's like, I don't know, the leader of the Taliban saying, that guy John who leads the West, or is it Billy? That's the kind of sort of wacky direction she sent his head in because she had prepared so well.
And this is what they were saying in 2021.
The man who now leads the Taliban in Afghanistan, Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar.
Oh, wait, what?
Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar, co-founder of the Taliban.
I could hear in Mullah Baradar's voice that he knew President Trump meant business.
CBS News has confirmed that CIA Director William Burns met secretly in Kabul with the Taliban's de facto leader Abdul Ghani Baradar.
We have learned that
Did they all forget his name? Is it what?
CIA Director William Burns traveled to Kabul for a secret meeting with Taliban leader Abdul Ghani Baradar.
They even have a
Abdul, there he is.
Founder Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar, who oversaw the signing of the U.S. withdrawal agreement last year.
Trump is right.
Wow. Okay.
We're in a post-truth world right here. This is insane.
Wow. Okay,
Because you could show, like, so that lady, right? The one you're like, oh, I can relate to her. You could literally show her that clip, and what do you think she would say?
Those are cheap fakes. I don't even know how to say deep fake, bro.
Right.
Like, okay. Actually, consider this, right? Because the way that they present it in the media, the gaslighting is strong. It's so strong. Like, he just made that up. He made just like he made up the cats, the people eating cats. Do you remember what Sam said on that meeting? About the cats?
I don't remember the exact main point he shared. What shared for the?
So he said, because he lives in Ohio.
Yeah.
So he was like, this is all we're hearing about living in Ohio. This is all we're hearing about. And so he's like, I went to go check to see like Springfield. Okay. I mean, I'm familiar with
Sam's like
Springfield.
driving around on the streets and Sam's at door knocking.
Sam's like,
hey, how many cats have you lost?
You see that? You see that cat? Whoa! But Sam was saying like, okay, in Springfield, he went to look it up, and right on the article it says false immediately. Like, are people eating cats in Springfield? False. He's like, okay, never mind. Let me just read the article anyway. And he's reading the article, and it says, actually, it was a woman just outside of Springfield, about an hour outside of Springfield. He's like, and this got fact checked as false because it wasn't specifically like that would be like, okay, yeah, not actually New York City, just outside of New York City. Okay, just a little bit beyond. We're talking New Jersey. Like, what? It actually happened. False. It was. Nobody's eating cats. Okay, nobody's eating cats in New York City. That's crazy. False. It was actually New Jersey. Like, what? Yeah. Insane. So
yeah, dude. Yeah. So this is what we're.
But do you know the whole story behind what's going on there, though?
My understanding is that they have like 20,000 Haitians were put there pretty quickly.
Yes.
And they're coming from Haiti, where people are used to eating like mud pies and stuff. So it's like, if if your choice is between a cat and a mud pie, you're
Okay.
gonna choose a cat.
Stop. This is where CNN would fact check us and be like, people eat mud pies. Mud pies. What is that? Is it some ridiculous thing that the white man could think of in that moment? So silly, so silly. Literally, look it up. They eat something called like mud cookies, right? Or mud cakes.
Yeah, fact check. It's not mud pies. Mud cookies.
Yeah, fact check. False. They don't eat mud pies. They eat cookies. Okay. But literally, they will take mud and dry it out and form it into a disc and let it dry out. And then they'll sell it for super cheap. And people will buy this and feed it to their kids. And it's because they're like, they don't have enough money, but they tell themselves that there's minerals and nutrients in the mud. And in reality, no adult actually eats it. They give it to their kids because it kind of fills their belly, and they're like, this is all we can really afford. And it's really sad. But what Mitch is saying is correct. Like they actually do that there, and you can see articles about it. But yeah, 20,000 people were dumped in Springfield, a town of 40,000. So now a third of their population is foreigners, right? And it happened in a really short period of time. And these people are getting housed. They're getting a stipend. They're getting money. They're getting money even for like food stamps, basically. So they're actually being provided for, which is really like, they're not doing that for the inhabitants of the town themselves. The people that are local there, they just dump people there, and then here you go, here's some money. You know, like, okay, if we could do that for 20,000 people that aren't even from here, why aren't we doing that for our own citizens? Like, hello, equal money. Let's go. I see the ball rolling. Let's move it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We can do this.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, imagine your town you live in, and all of a sudden a third of the people are like from very different culture, let's say. It's not to say we can't have immigration, but it's like, how is that being done? What is the timeline for this? Like, there's a best way to do it and a non-best way to do it. And so right now, there are potentially people eating cats in Springfield. Or
just outside.
Just outside Springfield. There are cats being eaten.
So I got another one for you. So, they fact checked that, right? But they didn't fact check this. So this is our media right now. This is great.
Well, I will tell you, I agreed with President Biden's decision to pull out of Afghanistan. 4 presidents said they would, and Joe Biden did. And as a result, America's taxpayers are not paying the $300 million a day we were paying for that endless war. And as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world, the first time this century. What? But let's understand.
So where the fuck are we right now?
Pretty hilarious.
That's the machine right there. Yeah.
That's pretty hilarious. So, I mean,
there was a good, I don't know if it was some post or whatever I saw the other day, but it was like, the real goal isn't to clean up the mess Joe Biden made, but it's to clean up the mess that made Joe Biden. Think about it. It's like, what is that right there? The fact that she was not checked at all and any of that stuff. And now you have both parties just go, again, us here, we're not necessarily, big fans of Trump per se, that he's some answer, but it's like,
no, definitely not.
Definitely better than the alternative, though. I mean, do we want to have some more time before World War III starts, or like actively? I mean, literally, as of this morning, they just gave apparently the green light on sending missiles from Ukraine into Russia, which Putin says we will see this as an act of war from the U.S. and NATO, and we will be at war.
Yeah.
You have fucking Justin Trudeau going, we give our full support to Canada, or we give our full support to Ukraine. And yes, we have to attack Russia. It's like, really? Okay.
It's, you're saying like, okay, we're on our way to World War III, but in reality, it's like it's kind of already happening. You know,
It
like think of the psychological warfare that's going on right now.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like I'm literally seeing people that I know, like people that I know are real. I've met in real life who are posting about Kamala Harris and like how she's the best choice, and I'm like, are you retarded? Well, obviously, but I mean,
Yeah.
like
They don't see what's behind Kamala.
they don't see it. It's all
They
they
just see
see.
some woman who can talk like Obama and make him feel a certain type of way.
Like, okay, there was that did you see there's this clip of some guy in I think it was either on CNN or MSNBC or one of those, right? Where he's talking about like they do a focus group and they're just asking people like, oh, you know, where are you from? You know, who are you voting for? All those sorts of things. And there's a black guy and they were asking him like what he thought of Trump saying that Kamala's not black or that she's Indian. And he's like, no, I had the same question. I had the same question. When did she become black? Because like for years she was just, you know, West Indian or whatever. And it was interesting because then after that interview, and I guess they had aired it live or something like that. After that interview, MSNBC or whichever channel it was like, this man was a Republican who infiltrated the the focus group. Like, how did he infiltrate? It looked like you invited him on. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, they're just spinning everything to make this narrative, like you're saying, like not be able to clean up the mess that created Biden, essentially, and or creates the narrative for people to go like, yeah, no, this is what I want. This is what I think I need. And now think about this in the context of like, because I've been looking at some of the OpenAI stuff, and I don't think there's anything here that I can show that would be like actually impressive to the average person. I'll try this one. Let me try
Well,
this.
we are beyond average in this group, so you know.
Yeah.
I don't think average people are watching this podcast.
I'm gonna share this one. Let me see.
Is writing a code for visualization. So I sometimes teach a class on transformers, which is a technology behind models like ChatGPT. And when you give a sentence to ChatGPT, it has to understand the relationship between the words and so on. So it's a sequence of words and you just have to model that. And transformers utilize what's called a self-attention to model that. So I always thought, okay, if
Just real quick, are you bored yet? Like, it's just using all these words. I don't know.
This guy needs speaking lessons from the same people who trained Kamala.
I can visualize a self-attention mechanism and with some interactive components to it, it will be really great. I just don't have the skills to do that, so let's ask our new model, O1 Preview, to help me out on that. So I just typed in this command and see how the model does. So unlike the previous models like GPT-4o, it will think before outputting an answer. So it started thinking. As it's thinking, let me show you what are some of these requirements. I'm giving a bunch of requirements to think through. So first one is like, use an example sentence, the quick brown fox. And second one is like, when hovering over a token, visualize the edges whose thicknesses are proportional to the attention score. And that means just if the two words are more relevant, then have a thicker edges and so on. So the one common failure modes of the existing models is that when you give a lot of the instructions to follow, it can miss one of them. Just like humans can miss one of them if you give too many of them at once. So because this reasoning model can think very slowly and carefully, it can go through each requirement in depth, and that reduces the chance of missing the instruction. So this output code, let me copy paste this into a terminal. So I'm going to use the editor of 2024. So Vim HTML. So I'm just going to paste this thing into that and just save it out. And on the browser, I'll just try to open this up. And you can see that when I hover over this thing, it shows the arrows, and then quick and brown and so on. And when I hover out of it, it goes away. So that's a correctly rendered version of it. Now when I click on it, it shows the attention scores as just as I asked for. And maybe there's like a little bit of rendering, like it's overlapping, but other than that, it's actually much better than what I could have done. Yeah, so this model did really nicely. I think this can be a really useful tool for me to.
All right. So he literally just like typed in commands of what he wanted the code to do. And then he was able to put it into ChatGPT, and then it was able to run the code itself, like, which is pretty impressive, right? So their new model basically is an even better coder than it was before.
So before, what you wouldn't be able to, like, what did you have to do before?
Before you had to give all those commands separately.
Oh, I see.
So you had to do all that separately, and then whatever bugs it would give you, then you'd have to input that back in, which I'm sure you still have to do. I'm sure you still have to do, but it does a lot of that itself. It's basically like it feeds back into itself. And what it's doing now, the way that they explained it, is it's thinking through. So it'll execute on your command, the first one, and then it'll think through, okay, well, how do I get to that next part? And it'll go, wait, let me backtrack. That didn't work how I expected it. Let me try that again. And it'll do things that, like, for instance, now they're doing crossword puzzles. They're doing all sorts of different like games, like with a crossword puzzle specifically. That's a sort of puzzle that you have to make an attempt, see if it fits, and then if it doesn't, then you have to work back and, okay, that didn't work. Let me erase that. Let me replace it with this, and that fits or that works. Or, you know. And previously you weren't able to do that with, you know, like ChatGPT or something like that, because it's just all go, 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 and it can't really reflect back. But now it can reflect back on the work that it's done and use that as a reference point and say, did this work? I've already done this, but did it work? Does it fit for what I'm trying to do later on? No. Okay, let me revise that.
Okay, so now let's bring that into what we were talking about earlier. The average person looking at, let's say, the political situation. It's like, how many steps ahead are people thinking?
I've already chosen Biden. I can't go back. Okay?
Right. Where it's like,
so
okay.
now that it's Kamala, and I hated Kamala before, I've already chosen Kamala. I can't go back.
Because you think about it, it's like, how many people actually have a goal in general? Like, how many people are walking through life going, okay, this is the outcome I would like to see, where they put some intention and thought into it and made some sort of decision. I'd say the average person has not done that. Their goal is some loosely defined thing as, I got to have enough money to survive, and I got to get to Disney. I got to take my kid to Disney World. They have like some weird vision of like what they think has to happen, right? Then I'd say there's another subset of people that's maybe a little bit higher up, let's say, in terms of how much free time they have, how aware they are of like, oh, I have goals for my life and stuff. And so then, yeah, they have some sort of goal, but it, again, has something to do with, I want to, you know, maybe have some like physical body goal, like they go to the gym, maybe they have like a certain amount of money they want to make, something like that, but that's their goal. And then they will somewhat work out some sort of their decisions based on that. But it's like, our whole purpose with this group and with everyone that we talk to and like getting people the tools and helping people really understand, you know, destiny in the blogs is because there is a valid goal that you should have, which is we actually got to change the system, right? We got to really change how kids are being educated, how the media works, how culture is shaping, how politics works, how the laws are formed, all of that. And so when you have that as the goal, it's like now you have something that you can orient towards in a similar way how ChatGPT is now at the part where it can like think things through and then work it back and then think through another hypothesis and work it back till finally you can get to, oh, that's the end point. It's like, that's why we always say the starting point is the end point, or the end point is the starting point. So it's on us to figure that out together, because we don't know exactly how we're going to get to best for all. We have general steps to get there, but it's like, when you are smart enough and you've built your vocabulary and you're doing self-forgiveness and you're reading the blogs and you're understanding reality and you're doing all this, now you can be like that GPT model, so you don't just get replaced by it and end up in some fucking Cosm thing on the weekend where you're just watching IMAX, you know.
So here's the really crazy thing about the IMAX thing is what we're seeing with the political
Circus?
yeah, circus. Yeah, that's a good word. This whole thing is basically that right now people are easily manipulated by their emotions. You know, like somebody who knows what to do can get up there and emotionally manipulate you. And I'm talking about on both sides. I'm talking on like both Kamala and Trump. Like, look at the whole way that this has gone down. It's just been a bunch of like up and down and up and down. Oh my gosh, and then this is happening, and then that's happening. Think about it. If you were on the side of like, oh, Biden's got to win, and then you saw that first debate with Biden and Trump, and you're like, no, no. And then Kamala comes out, and you're like, yeah, wow, woohoo, we're doing it. We got Kamala, yes. Or even before that, hold on, I missed a step. Before that, right? Biden was like down the drain, boo. Then Trump almost assassinated. Oh, okay, that was close. And then Kamala's like, yeah. Then she's got Meg the Stallion on there on the stage, and you're like, twerk that booty, girl, yes. And little John comes out, and you're like, yeah. And then they said that she's gonna debate Trump, and you're like, get that nasty Trump. And then Elon Musk says he's like for Trump, and you're like, no. You know, like it's just all is like up and down, back and forth.
Seriously,
right?
dude, seriously.
Then you watch that debate.
It's like a fucking drug addict
Yeah.
who needs that high. It's the same fucking pattern. It's
Yeah.
the same pattern as that dude right now on fucking Skid Row. The 2,000 people on Skid Row fucking shooting up heroin is the same thing that we're all accepting and allowing through this high and low.
Check this out. So here's what's scary about this is now AI can generate this. And look at that emotion. Just look at that. There's no sound to this one, but this guy just put in here. Shot of a woman's close up. At first, she's laughing, and she becomes sad. She starts to cry. She covers her face with her hands. Look at how, like, dude.
That is crazy,
isn't it? Isn't it?
Crazy.
And check this out.
That's so realistic. Damn.
I was looking at that. I was over at somebody's house the other day, and they're from Albania. They speak a different language, right? And somebody in their house was watching a soap opera in Albanian. And I don't speak Albanian. I have no idea. There was no subtitles to give me like, in English or anything like that. And I don't watch soap operas either. But I saw on the screen something like some drama unfolding, and it was literally like the classic soap opera scene of like, it was literally okay. What was the description of that woman? Do you know what it
happy,
said?
laughing, and then went to being sad.
Okay, it was literally this. There were these women. They're outside. They're happy. They're laughing. There's it looks like a father and a son, older like father in like his 70s and the son like in his 30s or something like that. And it looks like they're outside and just like congratulating each other, celebrating something. I don't know. I don't speak Albanian. I have
You
no
got
idea.
a promotion at your job. You're
But
a software developer. Your future's so bright.
Right. They're all happy.
And then they watch the open AI video. They're like, oh.
but literally, it's like some guy comes out of, from he's walking down the street and he's wearing like some hoodie or whatever, and like he's got some like burns on his face that look like they haven't healed properly. And then you see it goes back to the woman, and her face is like, she goes from happy to like concerned, like, oh no, and like I'm like just sucked in. I can't even understand what they're saying, and I'm just like, what is gonna happen here? What's gonna happen? The guy pulls out a gun, he shoots, and somebody dies. I'm not gonna ruin the soap opera for you,
Spoiler alert.
just in case you're watching that Albanian soap opera and you know what I'm talking about.
Crazy. That's crazy.
But it was literally like, and so it
That's
went from
crazy.
happy to sad to shocked to like terror, like oh no, right? But okay, so AI can do that now. The point that I'm making, AI can do that now. It can manipulate the emotions like that, and people
Dude, fuck
are
those people who made that thing.
who made the AI.
Like, no. I mean, you know, the
was coming
people who
anyway.
are sitting there going, "Let's make a soap opera," but I mean, the people consume it too, right? So it's like a give and take, right? But it's it's like, dude, that is so insane. You have this awesome life with so much potential, and you dedicate your life to making these fucking mirages on the screen to get people to just get jacked up on their
But
emotions.
hang on, though. Hang on, Rich. Hang on.
They were wearing a bulletproof vest. They dodged it, and then
No.
she gets back. She goes, "Fight, fight."
No, but what I was gonna say is like people actually are watching that. Like they wouldn't
I know.
make it if people.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like what the Eric Weinstein thing. I thought that was so cool, man. That interview, what he was
Yeah.
explaining.
Yeah.
He's like,
Keep going, keep
people love to be seduced, you know?
Right. Okay. All right. So I got two things for that. Right. First, let's do this one. Let's see this
And
one.
I got something too. I got it.
Did you see this one?
No. I wanted to watch this, but I haven't seen it.
Oh man, check it out.
You heard me say I want a female singer on this track. You went to Suno. Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, first of all, you know who Timbaland is, right?
Yeah. For anyone who's just listening, this is Timbaland explaining, or he's just like using Suno, I guess.
For anyone who's just listening, this is the episode to watch. Like,
Dude, one day, Drake, we're gonna be in the Cosm on the screen.
yes, and you'll be like right there, like it'll be like,
you'll
as
be
if
like,
we're sitting
"Whoa."
right there in front of you guys.
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, in case you don't know, this is Timbaland, who's like listening to a track that was unfinished of his. In case you don't know who Timbaland is, he's made every song you've ever bopped to, like ever.
Yeah.
Like all the Justin Timberlake songs, the Missy Elliott songs. He made a lot of songs. It's Timbaland. You know who Timbaland is. Come
Hold on. How did that thing know how to space? Is it? I don't think it's saying lyrics yet, right?
No, I think it's just
kinda
tones.
like
It's
you
just tones.
So it detects cadence. How did it get the cadence? Do you understand? Like, as a creator, as a producer, every beat that I do, I can put something on it. I just gotta prompt it right. Now it might not have the right lyrics, but like if it give me like sources of how many melodies? So that's the one that spit out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
Jeez.
Wow, man.
So okay, this is the guy, by the way. Timbaland is the guy who, like, other producers are like, that's the producer. Okay. I got a story for you. You know that song that's like Sexy Back? I'm pretty sure it was that one. So Timbaland produced that, right? I'm bringing sexy back. Yeah. Right? So after that song, Kanye made a song, right? And I'm pretty sure it was the one, well, actually, I'm not sure which one it was. It was either Stronger or it was Can't Tell Me Nothing, but I think it was Stronger. I think it was that one. But anyway, Kanye made that song because he was like, I wanted to have that club feel like Sexy back, right? And then he said when he produced it, it wasn't right. Like he couldn't get that feel, that the drums, like there was just something that was off about it. And he said he had to go to Timbaland and be like, hey, how did you do that? Can you help me with this? Can you like I try to make a song to compete with your song and I couldn't do it. Can you help me? And Timbaland's like, yeah, I'll help you. And like, so Timbaland's the guy. He's the guy. He's the producer. You know, like Kanye's a producer, but like Timbaland's the anyway. He's having this reaction, and we watched, you know, will.i.am have like a very similar reaction to like AI and the music that's produced, and it's just like, bro, like, okay, so now combine that with it can make the faces to make you emotional. Like, because all it really takes is a face, right? And what's funny is, what was it, like 2 weeks ago or so? Cam had sent some like haka from New Zealand, right? Have you watched a lot of hakas at all?
Not a lot. I think I've probably seen like 2 ever.
Dude, I went on like a little haka rabbit hole.
No, you didn't.
I did. I was like, I want to see more of these, and I just looked up and watched as many as I could.
Christine, how many of these has he performed? He's like, I must bless our new property.
But they're really intense. They're really intense.
Yeah, they are.
If you read the comments on every fucking video, there will be at least one, if not multiple, but there will be at least one comment that says, I cry every time I see one of these. I cry every time. And I'm like, how?
Did a woman every time?
Of course.
Yeah, okay.
But how do you not know what's coming? But anyway, the point that I'm making though is like, it's like the emotion, the sound, like all of that, like evokes a feeling out of you. Like the intensity rather evokes an emotion out of the person watching, right? So now we have an AI that can do the sound really well, Suno, right? And it can evoke that.
Dude, put haka through Suno.
I tried it. I did.
Oh, did it work?
No. I
What did it do? Did it not give you the?
It gave me a chant. It was cool. It was cute.
Oh, but kind of like a lame chant.
Yeah, it wasn't what I was looking for.
It's like cheerleaders at a fucking Dallas Cowboys game.
Go team, go!
With like some gay guys in there.
EEADDRESSIVE. I remember those chants not because I was ever a cheerleader, but because
you're on the rowing team and the cheerleaders really turned out.
No.
That's their favorite fucking sport.
It was the like Pee-wee football, you know.
Oh.
I sat on the bench for a lot of it.
So you were really close to the cheerleaders.
I got to hear the cheerleaders all the time, you know.
They're like right behind you.
Yeah.
So what was your point with the haka? Just how they can essentially
it was just saying like, okay, you're literally just watching. I mean, because it's not even like you're there in person. You know, you're watching something happen on a screen. That's what a movie is, you know. But with the haka, it's like, I don't know, a minute, 2 minutes that you're watching, right? The same thing that you're getting from a movie where you get this like massive climax essentially, but it takes all this time to like build in the characters and this and that, whatever. Well, you're able to get that in like 2 minutes, and you're able to do that through music. You're able to do that through like the intensity or the expression on somebody's face, and the same thing is happening with like now with AI. We can do that with the music in a really short span and the facial expressions at the same time. So just take this to the next level of like, look, we're watching the election cycle happen right in front of our faces. You don't think this is like, you don't think they're deploying every means possible for emotional manipulation?
Yeah, I mean, it's literally the future of the world system is dependent on this election in what 51 days, whatever it is. 'Cause it's like you look at, dude, the Eric Weinstein stuff is awesome because he has a cool vocabulary set for it. But he explains it's like the international order, but he explains it even further. It's like, okay, so basically, right? Kamala represents the candidate that is going to go along with the international order. And Trump is a wild card. That's what we saw for the 4 years he was in office. He wasn't going to play exactly by the same rules. Yes, there's a lot of shit that Trump did that was still, you know, he's fucking selling the vaccine. So, you know, what does that show you? But the way I was listening to that one, I think it was Piers Morgan interviewing Eric Weinstein.
Yeah.
And he gave a really helpful like extrapolation of it. He said the international order is also these international agreements, treatises, like contracts, things like that. So, I mean, think about it. In politics, you want to get ahead, you got to cut some deal over here. You got to, do a favor for someone. They do a favor for you. There's all these official agreements and quasi-official agreements. I mean, you think about like World Economic Forum in Davos every year, how quickly people can get deals done and get introduced to people and everything. So you think of all this, it's like a queue of downloads waiting to happen. And you're like, okay, if Kamala gets in, we can just keep doing our shit. Cool. If Trump gets in, what the fuck's going to happen? And so that's why it's so fascinating now, especially you see like literally this morning and yesterday, you're seeing, well, that video of Putin, I think it was maybe 2-3 days ago, where he's like, hey, motherfuckers, if you launch missiles from Ukraine into Russia, I see that as an act of war. We're at war then.
But okay, let's just like, I mean, let's break that down really basically. Like literally Ukraine using long-range missiles to target Russia. Ukraine does not have long-range missiles, and they don't have the capability of targeting like that because they don't have the satellites to do that. That's what Putin was saying. So he's like, so that would mean that the US or the EU would have to give them that capability. So that would really literally be, the US, the EU, NATO, whoever, using Ukraine as a proxy to fire long-range missiles when it's like, hey, it's one thing to claim you're defending this territory and put soldiers, put weapons, etc., to like fight on the battle lines, right? But then to use that as an excuse to then target into the country long-range missiles that like that, how is that defense now? And it's not saying anything about Ukraine. It's saying specifically about like the US or NATO, basically. Like that whole agreement is like, okay, now you guys are like, this is World War III, actually. That's what the implication is. Like this is like kinetic World War III because we already have like a psychological warfare going on right now. But now it's the kinetic where it's like actual gunpowder and everything. That's happening. Or apparently, like you were saying earlier, I think this is before the podcast started, but you're like, Biden gives the green, like where, from the beach? Like is he on the phone like green lights, red light, green light, yeah, go. The idea that somebody could say that, the fine people, like, oh geez, this again,
spewing anti-Semitic vile. She literally used the same word. It was so genius.
Dude,
even though it's a blatant fucking lie.
Okay, did you see that guy commenting on like the after effects after watching the debate? He was commenting on, and like the guy's clearly was a liberal and is not a fan of Trump at all, and he was just kind of breaking down like how both sides are just terrible, and I think he was saying like not to vote for either side, but the guy was saying uh, specifically about, oh, because he's like, if you were to watch Obama, Obama was like super eloquent, or maybe I'm confusing the guys who spoke, but anyway, Obama was like super eloquent when it came to um like saying things that like, oh, we're not going to do this. So he might say like, uh when it comes to who we're going to give aid to, they better play ball with us, otherwise we're not going to spend money with these people or those people or whatever. And the example that was given actually was uh it was this guy. So I don't know if you remember this, but during Obama's presidency, there was some journalist who spoke out against like the Saudis or whatever, and then he ended up getting like jailed and got 1,000 lashings. And like it was basically like he published something that was critical of a Saudi prince, and that Saudi prince was just like, find him, capture him, and torture him. And they did. And then they were questioning Obama while he was like in Saudi Arabia or something like that, of like, hey, what are your thoughts on this? And he was like, we are not going to allow that to happen. We're gonna apply pressure. We still got deals that we've got going on, but that's not acceptable behavior, and we're gonna apply pressure to make sure that gets stopped or whatever. And then he's like, so this is Obama, so eloquently spoken, and this is what he's saying, right? And then he showed the same clip of Trump, or not same clip, but similar situation where, again, somebody speaking out against a Saudi prince. This guy, they find him in the Turkish embassy or whatever, and they go in there and they just kill him. And they ask Trump about it and like, hey, Trump, this guy's a reporter, we talk about free speech. This guy's in the Middle East or whatever. And, what are you doing about it? And he's like, that's $110 billion of business that they're going to do with us. We're gonna accept that business. We're gonna accept that business. Because if we don't, it's gonna go to China or Russia, and that's stupid for us to say, oh, we're not gonna do business with you. That guy's not. Is he an American citizen? No, he's not even an American citizen. It's a funny clip to watch, but like he's just saying it like direct. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, that sucks for that guy. That's terrible, and I don't agree with it. But I'm not gonna like cut off $110 billion just for that, right? And people were like really upset when Trump did that or whatever, right? However, the guy breaks it down and he goes, so when Obama said what he said, everybody was like, yeah, that's the right position. When Trump said what he said, everybody was like, that's terrible. Trump did a deal of $110 billion after this just happened. But with Obama, it was $115 billion that he accepted from the Saudis right after. So it was like, they end up doing the same thing, just one says it directly. Here's what we're doing. Take it or leave it. And the other one says it in this way where it's like, well, let me just smooth you over, make you feel nice. And then he does even worse than the other guy.
The power of words right there.
It is the
Power of words and delivery.
Yes.
Which is also a form of words.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you see this thing that Brett Weinstein's coordinating?
Show me.
It's pretty interesting.
And make sure you put yourself in the little corner there.
All right. How do I do that?
There you go. That's the right button.
This one?
Yep, that's the one.
All right, let's go. Oh man, am I doing it right?
You're doing it.
I feel like a boomer.
You're doing it.
All right. So this thing, it came onto my radar screen maybe, I don't know, a week ago. Rescue the Republic, this idea. Brett Weinstein was posting about it. And it's pretty fascinating. It's so they did like an X Spaces, I don't know, I think yesterday. I didn't listen to it yet, but they're doing an event on the 29th of September in DC. I don't know what's going to happen. I know that they don't have a full solution, but it's cool to at least see this coming together, because I was like, man, this would be a great place to go recruit. Um, but it's coordinated by Brett Weinstein. He's got Tulsi Gabbard, Robert F. Kennedy, Russell Brand, Zuby, Charlie Kirk, Rob Schneider, etc. And they're essentially coming together, and they state like what they stand for, which is, again, it's cool. It's not a comprehensive solution. I don't expect them to have one, because we got to get into these groups. But they're like taking a stand against military industrial complex, medical industrial, censorship industrial complex, immigration, injustice, finance, developmental, and then
get that last
academic.
one. Return to truth seeking and open dialogue versus academic industrial complex. In order to get there, right, we have to be able to like actually have a conversation with people who can actually think things through, and like, have, they're not just going to get emotionally charged up over every single word, or like, oh, you can't say that because you're hurting other people's feelings. Like South to share. Think about this. What parent in their right mind would actually want for their child to become trans?
You said what parent in their right mind? I would say there's none.
Exactly.
There are definitely parents who,
however,
are out of whack and they think it's a good thing.
However, there are definitely parents who would argue for or defend the right of like, oh, well, no, but you gotta allow for that to happen. And they think that they're doing it on behalf of the people who are trans. They think like they're standing up for them, like, because you can't say they can't be, because then you'll hurt their feelings or whatever. It's like, but you're actually doing worse for them. You're not standing by them, actually, because you watch the interviews of trans people who've gotten the surgeries and all that stuff, especially who transitioned really young.
Right, when you actually investigate it,
it's like, they're like, this is the worst fucking decision. Like, why were they telling me as a child to do this? Like, I had no idea what was going on. Like, it's one thing if like an adult has some sort of fetish, or like there's something going on in their mind that they sincerely believe that they would feel better by presenting themselves as the opposite sex.
It's just a different thing, right?
It's a different thing than convincing a child to do this. Right. But also, like, all these people have gone through some traumatic experience that has not been effectively dealt with.
Yeah, because dude, as a guy, like, you have your way you see the world. Yeah, sure, there's some, fucked up male programming that we all get, and there's some fucked up female programming, whatever. But it's like, as a guy, basically all I want to do all day is figure out what I could focus on that's going to make an impact in my business, in my life, in my community. And I want to focus on that for pretty much the whole day. And then at the end of the day, I want to chill, relax, be with my wife and be with my kids, play with them for a bit, and then go to bed and then wake up and do it again. Because right now, I can't imagine just being like, oh, let me just chill. Let me just make passive income, man, and go to Thailand and, drink pina coladas on the beach. Like, as a man with a sound mind who can reason things out and see the state of the world, I'm like, this shit's going to get worse until it gets better. Dude. I'm going to do everything I can every day to make sure that I can provide for my family and protect them, and also have the common sense to realize I got to look at the whole world as my family too. Like, within reason, right? Obviously, I'm going to prioritize looking at my direct family, but it's like, that's what I focus on. And that's natural to me, and it's fun, and it feels generally, pretty good. I'm not fucking smiling all day, but it's like, I know I'm doing the right thing, and there's a sense of satisfaction within that. Whereas if I'm like, I cannot compute how you would then be like, no, I must now chop off my dick and become a woman. Like, that is, it's like, what?
That's it.
But
That's
I could see how
step.
someone who has had trauma or something like that to be like, I don't feel like, because I've had times in my life where I don't feel comfortable in my own skin. You feel off, you feel insecure, whatever. But it's like the answer to that is not now change my gender. The answer to that is, oh, what am I still holding on to that's not effective? Like, where can I forgive myself? What do I need to correct within myself? Like, how can I go take more responsibility instead of how can I twist this into some weird direction?
Yeah, dude, that's a great segue into this right here. Check this out. You saw this one?
I never know what's coming.
This one's
Oh,
coming.
this was great, man. Wait, I don't know if I actually saw this one. Let's see.
Okay, check it out.
Michael Caine explains is people don't want to know because it's cruel. Like that the bird that he just brought back to life.
So he's talking about The Prestige. You
Yeah.
know that movie? Yeah.
Great movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
They kill a bird every time they do a trick. Like imagine if you told that to the little kid, but the little kid wants to believe. Imagine like our entire monetary system is a magic trick. Now, why do people want to believe it? Because it's something from nothing. That's why you're culpable. That's why you can't end the Fed. Because you want it, you want it. And it's one of the hardest things to face. People are like, oh no, they did it to us. No, it's something from nothing. You wanted that. If you're in debt to a mortgage, or if you have any debts, or you want the stock market to go up at all, you want that. And then you have people that do horrible things to keep that magic trick going. And those horrible things are wars, COVID, right? Like all these things to keep that magic trick going. Like how many birds have to die for that one trick to happen? How much? And so I'll get into that. And, but the truth does set you free, in my opinion. Michael.
So this is like, think about this in the context of like, what's that? Nicole Shanahan, the running mate for RFK.
What
Like-
about her?
Like in the context of what she was sharing, as far as like all the billionaires that are, you know, you're investing your money so that you can like make more money or whatever. Where do they actually invest their money? Most of it goes to defense contracts or defense companies,
Hmm.
right? Defense stocks, all that sort of stuff. The only way that they make their money back is if a war happens. So they're literally creating like, oh, let me put all my money on war. And then we just make a war happen and then we get paid. And that's how we continue making more and more and more and more and more. It's pretty fucked
Yeah.
up.
Well, because think about it, right? You got 50 days till the election. They know right now they can do some shit where it's uncertain in the future, right? It's like if you're like placing a trade or whatever, it's like they don't necessarily have the option to go to war if Trump gets in. I mean, they would have to be a different kind of maneuver to do it. But right now they do have somehow Joe Biden, who is not fit to be running for president, but he's still president. Somehow that works. And so, right, the magic show, the magic trick.
Yeah.
But that's where you wonder why they're pushing so hard right now on this whole let's attack Russia thing. Because it's a way to cash out. And it would fuck it up from day one for Trump.
Dude.
Do you see that? Well, what were we going to say?
No, I was just thinking like whenever there's a war, usually they keep in the same president because it's like, oh, you know, like it's hard to change presidents in the middle of a war. Because people
I don't know the last time that happened, but
I don't think there's ever been a president change in the middle of a war, like other than like the war on terror, you know?
yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think when the last even proper war was then. Like in World War II, what did they do? It was FDR at the beginning.
Yeah. And it was FDR. He stayed in an extra term. He created an extra term to stay in.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Until
but
he
look at-
died, literally until his death. He was gonna have 4 terms, and then he died.
imagine somehow they can then gaslight everyone and be like, well, yeah, but Biden's going to stay president. Maybe he realizes that, and then he's like, oh shit, they're going to try and kill him. That's why he's wearing that MAGA hat this week. Okay, look at this. I didn't see this one yet, but it was I'll share this. I'll do my fancy new screen sharing.
Oh.
Okay. The New York Times reports that election results will likely not be known on election night, and the person who looks like the winner might not be. Remarkable. The Times tells readers that the large delay in counting is because of intense security measures, not fraud. For the second straight presidential election, it is becoming increasingly likely that there will be no clear and immediate winner on election night, and that early returns could give a false impression of who will ultimately prevail. If a winner is not declared on election night, it will not necessarily point to failures in the process. More likely, it will be results of the intense security measures required for counting mail-in ballots.
Okay, first of all, why are we having mail-in ballots again? What the fuck is this about? Why has that not been corrected already?
Right, because you have to go through the current system to change that. It's so complex. It's phenomenal. Now,
No. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Do you know how quickly in 2020, how quickly they made it? Okay, and now everybody can just do mail-in ballots. You don't have to go in person anymore. That was literally a rule change in so many states that happened in months. In months, they put that in. Okay, cool. But it was because there was a pandemic and everybody had to stay home to stay safe and all this stuff. Okay.
Shit, yeah.
First of all, there is no more pandemic going on right now, unless you talk to like some crazy extreme people out there who are like, you still have to wear a mask. It's not over yet. Like, what the fuck is your problem? But the other thing is, well, let's see. Why are people not going in person to vote? Why would there be a bunch of mail-in ballots? Like none of this makes sense at all. It's clearly setting up the position. It's so obvious, and yet how can people not see this? Oh, well, I'm just gonna stay home and mail it in because I can. Like, who's doing that? Who's doing? And okay, do you have that clip from Peter Thiel? Can you play that?
Well,
clip?
because there was a, I don't know if it was Peter Thiel. I know there's another Peter Thiel one talking about how to not be replaced by AI, but wasn't he the one who said he used the word fortifying the election?
Right, that's the one.
Yeah. I can't find it. I'm trying to, because it was so.
Maybe it was in the comments of that one.
Well, it was very apparent to me when I was reading how New York Times is phrasing it. That's how they're going to do it. That's how they're going to frame it.
Yeah.
It's like we have to protect the process, which really means just
protect the democracy. Yeah. Okay. I don't have that one, but maybe you could find that one. I think it's in the comments of that one.
Yeah, I'll find it.
Okay. Cool. What is this one? I didn't watch this one yet. Oh man, what is this? Okay. All right. Let me put this in here. And let me see this. Okay. I did not watch this one yet, but I do want to watch it since it was sent. Let me share screen. Mitchell, which one did you use when you did did you do the one that's like closest to the screen share? Like closest to the left?
I don't know which one I did.
Because then it gives you full size. All right,
Oh,
let me just play this. This is real-time reaction. Okay, so for anyone watching, it was just basically a bunch of side-by-sides of foods that we have still today. So from like, this is from the 1929. Wow, from the 1929. So this is Dryers, which I don't know who eats Dryers anymore, but the
that's like the
packaging,
stuff that's at your grandparents' house.
it looks a lot like Eddie's. The same sort of.
Yeah, they're probably both just owned by fucking Cargill now.
Yeah, exactly. But the ingredients used to be cream, milk,
Dude,
sugar.
so
vanilla
why
extract,
do you
baby
think
mix.
like
Now
why do you
it's
think they have all the new shit actually? Is it just
preservatives?
but why would they want it preserved more?
So
You know how
that's-
there's like planned obsolescence?
Yeah,
Well, I guess it could last longer on the that way they don't have to risk their inventory getting
that's
fucked
it.
up.
That's literally it.
Okay.
It's just like, oh, okay, there's a supply chain issue or whatever. All right, leave that shit on the shelf. Who cares?
I got it. I got
It's
it.
not gonna go bad ever.
Right, and then it's turning people into fucking like chimeras because now we're like half fucking xanthan gum or whatever. What is that? Do you see the most so everyone? Here's a little peek behind the curtain, right? Cameron sends us these great TikTok videos all day. Cameron spends his days on TikTok apparently. I'm just kidding. It's not X. Cameron's more pro X than
I thought
TikTok.
that was the most recent one. That wasn't the most recent one.
Oh, that was the most recent one. Okay. Got it. Yeah, it's really gnarly. I mean, that I don't know if we really went in on that Casey and Callie Means thing the other week, but if anyone hasn't watched that yet, definitely watch Casey and Callie Means, MEANS, on Tucker Carlson. It's really good to watch and share it with people so you can see who around you is like kind of willing to be red pilled because it's pretty gnarly interview. And it just shows you how there's been this big push, and then it's a push of the processed foods, but then now you have this fucking Ozempic thing that is going to become mainstream. I mean, I would say it seems like it already is. I didn't really hear about it till about a month ago. You guys kept talking about it. Now it's like there's huge deals in the pipeline on this thing, from what I'm gathering, and it's
what's funny about it is like with the whole Ozempic thing. There is this thing where like Oprah was taking Ozempic, and do you remember that? Like Oprah was taking it.
I only heard about it because of you. You're like my news source for that stuff.
For all things Oprah. That's right.
Yeah. I think you said she was your favorite person. What didn't you say that one time?
Yeah. No, I was a huge fan of Oprah when I was in like 10th grade.
My mom used to watch Oprah when I would come home from school and Oprah was on, and it was dude, reminded me just of those soap operas. It's like, oh,
you know why I liked Oprah was because she just had so much money. That's literally it. It was like
she's rich as fuck. Yeah,
she was rich. She was black. I'm like, bro, I could be Oprah. I want to be Oprah. All she does is talk to people.
Was that the first time you contemplated what if you were a female?
Definitely not. Those kind of questions are like a trap. Like, so was that the first time you realized you were gay?
Is that the first time you were racist?
like if you say no, it's like the so
right. There's got to be some term for that.
Yeah.
I think there is.
I'm sure there is.
That one part of that Modern Wisdom interview with Eric Weinstein where they're just like jacking off on their terms that they know. Like, oh, it's a Streisand double helix effect, and I'm just like, you fuckers.
Can you just fucking explain what you mean?
But apparently, I don't know if I caught this or I inferred this, but apparently he's gonna write a book with all those terms in it, which I think is actually pretty cool. It's kind of like like mental models. I think some of those can be really cool because it's like bricks in the brick wall for us to understand the modern world. It's like how we have terms in the group. You have like spells, for example. I think those are super cool. And then
also have possum.
But it's only cool when you have Technotutor, because otherwise it just turns into this mental masturbation game of like, oh, see, I remember the Streisand effect, versus you actually like living spells,
Right. Because I know how to spell. Okay.
Amen.
What else? What else do we got on the? Oh, did you find that Peter Thiel clip?
I found a clip of Peter Thiel ranting for 2 minutes. I think it might be it, but I don't know.
Bro, it's the one where he says.
I don't see the word fortifying in it. So
exactly.
Yeah. No, I found it.
Okay, all right. Play it. Make sure you click the one that's like closest to.
Hey, here we go. Look.
Okay, all right.
I am Peter Thiel.
There you go. There you go. That's it.
Just kidding. I'm not gay. All right.
I can't hear it. You didn't optimize for screen share.
Oh, Jesus. Hang on. There we are. All right. There we go. I'm at
Wait, you shared your whole screen. I don't need your whole screen. I just make Mitchell the Boomer. You'll figure it out. There it is.
Let's do it. Ready, set.
Going to be a razor-thin close election, then I'm pretty sure Kamala will win because they will cheat, they will fortify it, they will steal the ballots, and so you know if we can and so then in the event that it's close, I don't want to be involved. In the event that it's not close, I don't need to be involved. And so that's sort of a straightforward analysis right there.
Great jumping off point. How much cheating on a percentage basis do you think happens every year? How much, and do you think Trump actually won the last time?
You need to be careful with the verbs. So, you know, cheating, stealing, that implies something happened in the dark of night.
Massaging.
I think the verb you're allowed to use is fortify.
Okay, yeah, we don't want to get canceled on YouTube.
Ballot harvesting. I mean, it was, you know, it's all sort of, there were all these rule changes. It was sort of done in plain daylight. And, but yeah, I think our elections are they're not perfectly clean. Otherwise, we could examine it. We could have vigorous debate about it.
Well, what would you change then? What should change? Because we all want everybody's votes to count.
Okay. This is a really clear example of like he's saying something now that you were not allowed to say 4 years ago. You were not allowed to say this 4 years ago. You know? And now it's like, but everybody knows this. And this is the exact same thing that Eric Weinstein was talking about. Like, keep going, keep going.
You want it to be clean. I'm talking about the audience.
I don't know. At a minimum, you'd try to run elections the same way you do it in every other Western democracy. You have one-day voting. You have practically no absentee ballots. You have and it's, you know, it's 1 day where everything happens. It's not this two-month elongated process. That's the way you do it in every other country. You'd have some somewhat stronger voter ID, and you know, make sure that, you know, the people who are voting have a right to vote.
Make it a national holiday.
But that's basically what you do in every other Western democracy, and it used to be much more like that in the U.S. I mean, it's meaningfully decayed over the last 20, 30 years. You know, 20, 30 years ago, 30, 40 years ago, you got the results on the day of the vote, and that sort of stopped happening.
Dude. Like, that's so obvious.
Fucking makes sense.
Right?
Yeah. Like,
it's so obvious. And I'm just looking at it from the perspective of, okay, what he said there of like, oh, well, I mean, obviously there's something going on here. Like, it is not it's not clean. Something's happening. You're not allowed to say that on YouTube. Still, I don't think you're allowed to say that. So we may get this one removed for whatever sake. But you're not allowed to say those sorts of things. And
it's like, why not?
Because it could cause people to be upset, and it's misinformation. Okay, like, how dare you question the election integrity? It's like, hang on, wait a minute. I thought we had the First Amendment right. I thought, like, you're saying I'm not. That would be like you go to school or you go to church, right? And you're not allowed to question the priest. You're not allowed to question, you know, the information that you're hearing. You're not allowed to question, like, but wait, why? No, you're just supposed to accept the authority.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
bullshit.
It is. And the other thing is, like, the reason why that's able to happen is because people are dumb. You know, people are dumb, and they're not able to, like, just, okay. It's the other thing that Eric Weinstein was saying was, we're constantly getting bombarded with this messaging from the media of, you know, this is what the mainstream believes. This is what all your friends believe. This is what you're supposed to believe too. And if you don't go along with this, if you say the truth, you will be attacked, and you will be looked at as bad and dumb, and because everybody wants to keep their job, everyone wants to keep, like, the things going the way that they are. Everybody's in this constant cycle of survival, and because they're in this constant cycle of survival, they're going to just agree even when they don't agree. And so you're going to see that and you're going to be like, well, shit, I don't want to not survive too. I also want to survive and be accepted within the system and not be rejected. And so that's the magic trick that like Owen Benjamin was talking about there, where he's like, well, okay, you actually want this. You actually want this because you're keeping it in place. You're not looking at like, because when you participate in the stock market, you don't see the bombs hitting those kids. You're not there. It's not happening to your family. So you don't care. You're like, yeah, but it makes the money go up. I get something for nothing. It's great, right? I love that. I want to continue doing that. It's not seeing reality. And that's why like we have the process that we have is just, I mean, it's amazing. To say it in a word, it's amazing. It is like there's nothing else that comes close to it because there's nothing else that's actually looking at reality. We're the way that we're taught, just the way that we're raised, whether it's in school or by parents or whatever, is literally just to focus on survival and focus on getting a job, making some money, and you being happy and you maintaining the status quo essentially. And because of that, it's like no one's actually seeing reality for what it is. No one's actually looking out and seeing like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Why are we continuing to do this? Why would I want to give my life source, everything that I'm here for? Like, why would I want to dedicate it to working some fucking job for 40 years, which you can't even do anymore? But like, why would I want to just live in this mode of constantly just go to work, come home, nothing changes. Like, okay, I paid the bills. All right, go to work, come home.
But at least I don't feel a ton of pain every day. It's like that's
you
the
do
fucking
though.
ration.
But you do.
Yeah, you just numb it.
You're just numbing yourself. You're like, how much can I numb myself until you die? And it's like,
All right.
and
Then you see your creation.
it's somebody said this. Somebody just like regular. I don't remember who, but somebody just said, a lot of people have 2 deaths, right? It's like they die at some point, and then they have their funeral. Meaning, like they've given up. They basically aren't even here, and then they actually like their body catches up and they die, and then they, and that really is the case of like, I mean, most people enter into this world and then they're immediately like just bombarded with the system telling them to go along with the system. Don't be an individual. Don't, like, if you listen to Revenge of the Ego, I listened to that yesterday again, just while I was mowing the lawn. So good. Because he's talking about like, there's a part in there where he says, your ego gets you to believe, like it knows how to program you. It knows how to activate you energetically because it is the system within you, right? And it gets you to believe that you are insignificant, that you can't do anything. And so you just abdicate yourself to the system. And because of that abdication, then we become this thing that's like, we are less than our own egos, our own minds, we are less than the system. Why? Because we've abdicated all of our responsibility for understanding who we are and what we're capable of and our potential and all of that. And if we were to just do that, as in take all our responsibility back, build that up, and see every single point within ourselves of, oh, here I've gone into blame, I've gone into anger, I've gone into fear, I've gone into thinking that somebody else will take over, or hoping that somebody else will take over. I've been abdicating my responsibility. I think I'm less than this. I'm doubting here. If we could take responsibility for every single moment of that, which I know is not easy. I know, because I'm walking the process too, like we're all walking this process. But when we do that, we are so much more powerful than we're allowing ourselves to be right now. And we're just accepting this system. And just imagine if everybody were to say, you know what? I'm not going to watch the news. I don't care. Like, not that I don't care, but like, I'm not going to watch the news anymore. I'm not going to, if the average person were to say this, like, I'm not going to watch the news. I'm going to instead come up with solutions in my community.
Mhm.
And then when something is interfering with that solution, I'm going to find the solution to that and change that and challenge that. You know, so if you're like, you've got the solution for your community, and then some governor or president is coming in and they're like fucking things up, you're like, oh, I got to vote you out. You don't make sense. And then I'm going to talk to everybody in my community and explain to them what I'm seeing here and see if they see it as well. And then we can come together and we can say, hey, here's what we actually need in our community. Are you willing to step up and do this? Because we need a governor who can do that. You know, like, that would be massive. It'd be a huge shift in our world, because then all the propaganda that they're putting out, it wouldn't work. But also at the same time, the reason why it works is because people are dumb as fuck, put it bluntly. You know, and they're not, and they're emotionally manipulated. They allow themselves to be manipulated by their own emotions, and they want to be. People enjoy their own emotions. You know, they want to feel these highs and these lows, and like, oh, like, you ever see a movie that's like a tearjerker, and then at the end you're like, that was a good movie, and like, it got you like really feeling like, you don't see it as a bad thing. You know, we do the same thing in our own lives. We make ourselves go through these tearjerkers. We judge them as bad or whatever, but the reality is we're enjoying the process of like making ourselves feel that way. And that's just abuse of our own bodies, you know, because we're not actually using what the resources that our body has given us for what's best. We're instead just abusing our bodies for our own entertainment so that we can numb ourselves to the rest of the world and not take responsibility. And that's fucked.
Well said. Yeah, it's like in every single moment you have the opportunity to either decide to take more responsibility to share this, or you let it go, only to time loop. And so it gets really fun when you keep accumulating responsibility and you get pretty good at it, and then you start to learn, you start to trust yourself. That's really fun. But there's always that option to fucking like give up or go soft. And so use this as your, let's say, friendly reminder for the week ahead to like really push yourself, really see what you're made of. Because think about it. You get to the end of your day and you put your head on the pillow or wherever you sleep, right? And you either will have that genuine sense of like, damn, like that was good. Like that was a good day. Or you like feel the guilt because you know you could have done more. You know, so it's like, get yourself to the point where every single day can be a +1 for your overall life. Because as you do that, that will also ripple through into everyone around you, and that accumulates. And some days it's really obvious and it's fucking awesome. And other days you're like, damn, for the past 2 months I've been going all out and it doesn't feel like anything's changing. But it's like, use your own discernment in each moment to choose the best thing, and then let that accumulate. And then, you know, you can look forward to the next clubhouse, the next event, the next, you know, all the cool things that we do, but then get people to come with you, you know, because you can be that leader for the other person, because that's literally how we change the world, is 1 + 1. So that's what I got for the week. How about you, Drake? Anything else?
No, let's go fucking do it.
Hell yeah. Awesome. All right, everyone. Well, get out there, make it your best week yet. And we'll see you on the Hangouts and throughout the week on different calls. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Danger. 5, 4, Welcome to Self Perfected.